I was excited. It's Samuel L. Jackson. He's the main star of this show. He hasn't had a lot of them. Captain Marvel a little bit, but really this is his show. They've led with him in all the marketing and everything like that, which I think was smart. So I didn't totally know what was going to happen. I had to watch one of those 5 minutes of things you need to know before you watch this. And I thought, one, having so many lead name actors in this was a great decision. You've obviously already got Samuel L. Jackson, Ben Mendelsohn, who's been in a lot, especially as a villain in a lot of films.
I love Ben Mendelsohn.
Amelia Clarke from Game of Thrones. Colby Smulders is back. Martin Freeman for a hot second. And even the president. I should have written down what his name was, but he was even in this. And I was like, I know who that guy is. And I'm going to Dylan McDormand. Yes, that guy. I'm sorry. I forgot his name. You know what I was thinking of when I saw him? I was thinking of
the Family Stone.
Family Stone, but also Angels in the Outfield. The deadbeat dad. He is the deadbeat dad in that. He's just a cool guy. Anyways,
I just always think of him as Family Stone.
Eddie, you knew exactly that I would appreciate that callback. I think that alone carried this higher than a lot of the other Disney Plus shows, especially Marvel-based Disney Plus shows that they've made out there, because we had really solid actors, or at least people that I trusted on camera, doing pretty good.
You mentioned Olivia Colman, right?
Yes, Olivia Colman, the Queen. That was the first thing my wife said. It's the Queen.
And I mean, this is just me thinking off the top of my head. I can't think of another Marvel series that's had an Academy Award-winning actress in it.
We'd have to go look. Someone can text us right now.
Yeah.
While we're recording this, that they're not hearing live.
But I mean, that adds the caliber. I think that reinforces what you're talking about.
She was a scene stealer. She was great.
Yes,
every moment she was on, I was like captivated.
Give me more.
By Olivia Colman.
I hope she comes back more.
So what were your reactions to this?
This was fantastic. Like, I went into it with serious trepidation because I've been so let down. And I ended, actually my first comment as soon as it ended was, I wish they were doing the binge method from Netflix. I think this would be a binge-worthy show. I'm nervous that it's just going to drag out a tad too long. And I just feel like this would be a really good one to just kind of watch them in more rapid succession. But I don't think they're going to start doing that until the Echo series this fall is when the first binge method is going to be used.
Yeah. Do you know any? So the Echo one, that's what they're going to drop all at once?
Yep. They're just going to drop them all.
Which for that one seems like it might not be for a good reason.
Right. That
they're going to have it. I'm having trouble finding out how many episodes of 6 episodes. This series is going to have 6 episodes. So it is a lighter one too. It's on the lighter end. We got 9 from She-Hulk. Granted, that was a shorter, it was like sitcom style.
This episodes. Was a 50 minute episode.
I still felt like I wanted more. I don't know how to really put it, but that's been the case for every Marvel series. Has been like these episodes feel a little bit like not a little bit short. Some of them do feel short, but I just want more. Like it takes a while to really get going, even though we have a major character ending. Are we going to say spoiler alert on here? Should we?
No, I think we should save it. I have a feeling we will do a full review when it's done.
Then I'm going to have to save all of my reviews about one actor in this, which I didn't feel like wanted to be here at all. Was like happy to just make their appearance and then be done with their time. But
yeah, and I think that's a part. There's some there's like 2 big things that happen in this first episode that I think shocked a lot of people, at least me in particular. I was like, what? They just did that? So yeah, I don't want to spoil it. I think there's enough people who may not have seen it. And we'll hold those. I think we should hold those.
Can we at least talk about the Russian dude at the front? He was a little much. That Russian, that whole part where he's like speaking about like undercover people and stuff like that. I'm like,
you thought that was a bit much? I had the exact complete opposite reaction.
He was the worst moment of that show, and it was right up front, which is sad.
I disagree wholeheartedly. I was like, one, I love his voice. I was like, man, they got this guy just for his voice. And I thought it was a great way to start a series that is about conspiracy, that's suspicion, that's spy, just kind of give a little bit of the crazy conspiracy lunatic guy.
So here's the thing.
I thought it was a brilliant way to start it.
Here's the thing. If you're going to go crazy conspiracy guy, you need to go Murray in Stranger Things. Like, that's what you want out of a crazy conspiracy guy. This guy played it too straightforward to, I know, you got to believe me. And he's not funny while he's doing, like, he's not like over the top. I don't know how to describe it. He was over the top, but not in the ways that you want them to be. He was more like, I actually am a little uncomfortable with this guy, and I think we shouldn't be in the same room as this guy right now, even though he ends up doing, what happens. You know what happens after it. He was not my favorite part of this. I'm just gonna say that.
I'm not gonna say he was my favorite part of this. But
we can all say Sonia. Sonia is the best part of this so far. Yes, she's one of the top. She steals every second of her time on screen.
But I do have to say you are wrong. I thought this was a great way to start a spy thriller with kind of just like a crazy conspiracy. Yeah, I liked it, and I particularly loved his voice. I was like, very cool.
My favorite line in this opening thing was, I haven't had my midlife crisis yet, shopping spree yet. What'd you get for yours? And he just turns, the Avengers. I got the Avengers.
No, when you have Samuel L. Jackson leading your show, like, I expect a line like that in every episode. If you don't give me a line like that in every episode, somebody's not doing their job, right? Like, This is what he's known for, is delivering those like just solid one-liners like that. These snarky. We're not going to get any of his classic lines because it is Disney Plus after all.
My other gripe with this was also in the opening scene. So when the one guy's chasing him, Martin chasing in the opening scene, and the other dude's just way faster than the guy he's chasing. And he was like slowing down. It gave me vibes from the Obi-Wan series with the little girl. It's like, no, man, you're faster than him. You should have already caught up to get him. And I was just like, so the opening scene kind of didn't leave me deflated. I was just like, this could have been a lot better. Oh, there's some intrigue because it wasn't him and stuff. But the opening scene, but then from then on, the moment Samuel L. Jackson walks in, from then on, I'm like, okay, I'm in on the rest of this. Oh, we get Sonia, we get Amelia. Kind of wonder, even the whole series leaves you with a question of, is anybody real?
Yes.
We might find out that someone in the front half isn't real in the very, very end. So I wonder if that's going to kind of how I'm going to react to that as it goes along. Is it going to hurt it in the long run because I'm always questioning that and I can never trust anybody? Or is it going to be really fun and entertaining? But that ending scene, everything, the chaos of it all, definitely was pretty intense. The way that they left this thing, I'm like, okay, why did you want her to see? Why did you want these two people to see this thing happen? Why was it important? Because it's hard to not talk about the thing. We'll save it. I'll just save my notes. We'll talk about it more in depth because there's so much I want to say. But you get with me, right? That the person this is going to be so horrible for people to listen to. Are you with me that the one person that doesn't make it through this didn't ever really want to be in this?
I don't know. I didn't get that feeling.
I feel like everybody else was given their A game and one person just was like mailing it in. But maybe that's just the way the actor was playing it. Actress, you don't know who I'm talking about.
So here's what I'm picking up is you still came into this with hope and excitement. And I came into this very skeptical dare I say, cynical. And so I was like, oh, pleasantly surprised. I feel like you came into it with expectations and were let down. So we may have felt that we may have had the exact same experience. We're on even ground, but because you were higher before and you had to come down and I was lower and had to come up, we feel differently about the same ground.
If you would have asked me before this started, I would have said it's a Marvel series and it has a high potential of being bad because a lot of them have not been great. Right. I think that having the list of actors in this raised the floor for what I expected for how bad it could be. So to that, I think you're probably right that you probably were more afraid and nervous about it. And I think I was like, of all the series, this one should at least be tolerably, even it should be good, like just good. And I think so far for me, it's hit it. I've mostly been griping because we got to gripe about something on here or else it's just not a fun thing to listen to. I enjoyed this and it was better than a lot of the stinkers that we've had where it's been like, are we going to get to something eventually? There's been big moments in this. Yeah. I'm just calling out the Russian and the opener could have been better. And the one of the actors, it just seemed to me like they did not want to be in this and they were happy to get their one paycheck and then move on. But
I can see what you're saying now. Like after I've thought about, like, there's a few scenes in there where I could see that. I'm intrigued to see what the rest of the series. We've got 5 more episodes.
It raised the stakes, so they did their job, but just their job.
Yeah, you put in here an interesting piece of news about this series that I am totally unaware of. So what you have said here, this is the first time I'm hearing about it.
So
about Secret Invasion.
Yeah, so some news came out that Secret Invasion used AI for a pivotal point in this film. Maybe not story-wise, but they used AI to create the weird, trippy, like intro for this thing. The credit for the credits. They somehow used AI for this. So The Verge has this interview or did some digging on this. I believe it was The Verge. And so that whole thing 100% looks like somebody typing in prompts in not GPT, but like Midjourney and just saying, what if Samuel Jackson is a scroll in the form of Jackson Pollock or something like that. Like one of those prompts. I don't know if you've ever tried any of these AI things, but it looks like it. But my thing is that these services aren't at the point yet where they can really do video that or even at all. So I'm like, what did they use for it? Was it just creative? Like, hey, give us something and then we will comp it and create the animation. They're very hush hush about it. So most of these intros, the studio themselves don't really do it. They kind of outsource it to another creative agency. Hey, you guys make this so we can work on the meat of this thing. But if it's an intro, it's going to play through the entire series. But it's just funny that right now in the middle of all this fight with writers and studios, and one of the big tenets is they don't want AI to be used at all, that a studio just comes out and says, you know what, we're going to use AI and we're not going to be ashamed of it. And obviously Disney knew what was happening. They had to sign off on it. But now they're getting some heat from it. Now, the big thing that they were saying was, so Method Studios is the studio production house that made this. And so the VFX house, according to The Verge, says that they used AI generated images, but it didn't put any human artists out of a job. And like, that's a very specific wording. And they really danced around the whole issue.
A lawyer wrote that.
Oh, 100% a lawyer wrote this. And it sounds like the head for the studio kind of at first said, I don't know much about this. I don't know anything. And then he comes out. So DALL-E is the one that they used. And then he comes out and said the entire process, guided by expert art direction, encompassed the initial storyboard phase, illustration, AI generation, 2D, 3D animation, and culminated in the final compositing stage. And I'm like, so you used it on everything, but you're saying that it didn't take visual effects. And I'm fine. Like, if you want to go there, just go there, knowing
own it.
You're going to start setting a fire. I know VFX doesn't have nearly the guild representation or backing, because then a studio will just outsource it to another country. But it's just interesting that they chose now to be like, oh yeah, we're totally going to use AI in the moment where we're fighting people about AI.
It is interesting. The opening sequence struck me very Bond-esque. I don't know if you felt similar. Like, it was just kind of that style of a Bond intro. And yeah, very trippy. So yeah, this is raising lots and lots of interesting questions. I think it's only going to get hotter. Right? SAG-AFTRA's about to strike, which is that's a big halt on everything.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Well, SAG-AFTRA is the one, like the SAG Awards, the Screen Actors Guild. They are the acting guild. So like, you cannot work on a TV movie without like as an actor without being a part of that guild. And so they're feeling that their guild members are not getting the same representation in streaming and what they are due. So I can't remember what the timeline is, but it's getting awfully close where they're saying that they're going to strike, which means you have no writers and you have no actors. Hard to make anything without either of those groups.
So the SAG contract expires June 30th. So we are days away from that right now, even as we're talking about it. 4th of July weekend. And this is big news, and it's already starting to trickle into things like Comic-Con